This is a download from Rutland Radio.
Hello, and thank you for downloading the Rutland Radio podcast from rutlandradio.co.uk. This is where you can hear the best bits from the last week. It's Rutland Radio at breakfast time. We've just got the men's good and new clothes sale then out the way from last weekend. Now, the remainder of those clothes are going to Barnsdale Lodge very soon because it is only a few days now until the big good and new clothes sale at Barnsdale Lodge Hotel. It's for Rutland. It's been going 50 odd years. It's just amazing. And Caroline Hammond, there's more clothes than ever there this year.
This year has been absolutely amazing. I think we've had quite a lot of publicity in Rutland Living, Rutland Pride, Mercury, and in and around. And we've shown some of the clothes as part of a photo shoot so that people can get a preview. And as a result, we've had huge donations, new clothes and nearly new clothes, really high quality. So it should be a bumper year, hopefully.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, we've been passing out the pictures as well through our social media too. But just take us round the sale, because this is kind of like a department store, sets up for 2 days and then it goes again.
It is. There's a huge marquee at Barnsdale Lodge, and there are over 70 rails of clothing and accessories, and so you can find shoes and handbags and all sorts of other things there too. There's a men's section with a lot of country clothing, a lot of evening wear as well, and just good jackets and suits. And then there's a very large ladies section with a designer section. Some of the really quality brands are sold, and there's a children's section, so you can really dress the whole family for a fraction of the price.
Now, the Friday night is the first pick, and I know you've got lots of people coming to that. If people would like to go, there is just a few tickets available, £15 and 724400. Speak to Trish and get those tickets for the Friday night. But the Saturday, every price slashes to 50%.
So on the Friday night, there are obviously sale prices anyway, but then on the Saturday it's halved again. So they're very low prices.
And it's £5 to get in, but you easily get that back just having a look around some of the stuff that's there.
I mean, we see people with coming out with piles and piles of clothes, and it's just £5 on the door, but tremendous bargains.
And it's almost a race, really, to get them before, at 1 o'clock, then they get taken off the rails, and the remainder go to Loros.
And absolutely. And we find we open at 8:30. A lot of people come quite early to, get some of the best picks. But we've got a particularly large selection this year because thanks to all the amazing donations we've had. So there should be plenty for everyone.
Just caught your eye. Was that okay? It's all okay. Sorry, what would you like to do?
Hegarty's.
Yes, absolutely. I was thinking about Hegarty's, exactly.
Yeah.
And I know Hegarty Solicitors have been a great sponsor for you this year, and they've been raising money for Rutland by doing their own thing as well.
Yes, absolutely. They've been incredible. So it's the second year that they're behind us and sponsoring us. But in the summer, they did a sponsored walk for, I think it's over 35 miles, where they walked from their different offices in Stamford and Peterborough, and raised another £5,000 for us, which is incredible. So they go way beyond the call of duty.
Well, thanks very much, Hegarty's, and thank you to all the team for Rutland for putting this amazing sale on. So really, it's just Friday night, 5 o'clock till 8, and then 8:30 through till 1 on the Saturday, the first weekend in March. If you don't know about it, you've obviously not seen the yellow signs apart from anything else, which are everywhere.
Yes.
And you've got more signs on the roads and everything this year.
Oh, and more than ever. And posters in the shop windows. We're getting a lot of support from a lot of people in Rutland, so we're really grateful for that.
And the one thing, actually, we can say compared to last year is the weather should be milder.
I hope so. But it's predicted to be very much better.
Excellent stuff. It's the For Rutland Good and New Clothes Sale at Barnsdale Lodge with Hegarty Solicitors, Friday the 1st of March from 5 till 8, and that includes a glass of champagne and canapes thanks to Hambleton Hall. £15 in advance or £20 on the door from Trish Ruddle on 01572 724400. And Saturday the 2nd of March is where everything is half price. It's £5 on the door from 8:30 through until 1. It is truly unmissable.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio Podcast.
Well, I'm here with Maria at Stamford Rugby Club this morning. Maria, could you just explain what's going on, please?
Yeah, hi. It's a women and girls open day. So we've got everyone coming from kind of under 2 with our Diddy Rugby coach all the way up to kind of over 40, I think is the eldest we've got here. We've got coaches from England Rugby, we've got coaches from Leicester Tigers, we've got a couple of club coaches as well coming down. So it's just an introduction to rugby. Some schools have come down as well, so there should be some really good numbers and a really fun day with a free hot dog and a free t-shirt as well, which is always good to see.
Absolutely. And in terms of doing it for women and girls, is that because the men is so successful and you want to promote that side of things, or is it also to do with the wider community as well?
Yeah, it's definitely down to the wider community, and I've been into local schools in Bourne and Stamford, and I've seen the demand that there is for women's rugby and girls rugby within the area, and it's such an exciting time for women's rugby with the Six Nations on, and the England rugby team doing so well in terms of their success, national success. So there was really that demand there, and it's something that I'm hugely passionate about in terms of rugby. And I just wanted to bring it to this club, which has a fantastic history as well. There will be lots of kind of fun games, no kind of full contact or anything like that, just running around. We'll probably start off with a bit of rugby netball, so not moving with the ball, but just introducing kind of what the rugby ball looks like, 'cause it's a bit of a funny shape, and then we'll move on to running with the ball, might even get on to passing backwards, a little bit of touch rugby as well afterwards.
Rutland Radio.
Yeah, I got it out yesterday. I was cleaning up the kitchen and I just thought I'd show my son what it did. So yes, it does work, and we toasted a piece of bread. If you've ever seen Downton Abbey, the housekeeper's actually got a toaster almost the same. It's got a plate on top where my granny said you would heat put your kettle or your hot water, although I never saw her do that. Mm-hmm. It's got little baker-like knobs that you pull down each flap and put your bread in, and then, yes, you have to open it up and turn the bread over to do the other side. So you can see the elements in the middle. They heat up almost instantly. It's very quick.
So it's like a sort of mini cooker, basically, but certainly the toaster bit still works as well as it ever did.
Yeah, it's still toast. Yeah, we've put a 3-pin plug on. That was years ago. I think my dad did that for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't use it a lot. But I remember her making me toast on it when I was young. Yeah, I had a look on the lead, and it's made by GEC because there was nothing on the actual toaster. But I have Googled it, and it says 1900s.
General Electric Company, yeah?
Yeah.
How brilliant. I just love that. I really,
Yeah,
because you think of all the modern appliances that people have, and that things in those days really were built to last, and that's proof.
Rutland Radio's best bits on the podcast.
Yeah, that's right. So it's Julia Bradbury's Australia, which always makes me laugh every time I hear it.
You don't say it like that every time you're on, do you?
I do.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, it's somebody else that does it, actually. That's the way, there's a voiceover, there's a bloke that does it with the voiceover, and I just laugh every time I hear that. It was an epic journey, actually, 12,500 kilometres across Australia. I've explored from the west all the way into the Northern Territories and the Red Centre, and right over to the east side, so the Great Barrier Reef and the rainforest. Meet a very charismatic doggy trainer who's decided that the best way to train dogs is to teach them to surf. Don't ask me why. You'll find out on the show. And also coming up in future episodes, I'll be exploring the outback. I spent some time at a fantastic cattle station, a huge cattle station. You'll like this stat, actually, Rob. Mm-hmm. It works out that the Mount Riddick cattle station, which is just outside Alice Springs, it's almost 3,000 hectares in size, 3,000 square hectares. So it's absolutely ginormous. And Rutland fits into Mount Riddick 7 times.
Wow. So, yes, completely different to around here.
Completely different around here, yeah. So it's been a fantastic adventure, and of course the Aussies have got a wonderful outdoor adventuring spirit about them as well. And I met lots of families who'd taken a year out, taken the kids out of school, and were homeschooling for 2 hours every day, and just hit the road in their RV, their motorhome, and they're learning about Oz, going to different places, meeting up with family members, and enjoying activities and stuff together. And I was really inspired by lots of families who are doing that. I think we could all take a leaf out of their book, because there's a lot to be said for that life experience on the road. And I think to be able to do that with young kids, and you're a dad,
yeah.
you know how much they thrive and love spending time with you, and the experiences that you share with them are all part of making those happy memories and forming strong, healthy mental bonds with them as well. So I was, as I said, truly inspired, and really considering taking a year out and hitting the road with the kids.
Rutland Radio.
Oliver Hemsley, leader, Rutland County Council.
And we're here to celebrate the first year here of the King Centre. I remember it being Rutland County College. I remember it being the EES. It's had so many uses, actually, hasn't it?
It has, and it's fantastic to see this building being reused in such a vibrant way. You know, with the businesses that moved in here, we're now full, and I think they contribute around about £14 million to the turnover, which is 2% of the Rutland economy. So quite something, and a fantastic group of people. So it's nice to be here.
And it's quite incredible to think, you know, a few years ago the council didn't have any space for small business. Then the Enterprise Park came along, then this came along. How are the two different? Are they complementary?
I think they're certainly complementary. I think the site here is very much for the sort of more technical businesses, the smaller spaces where you've got the sort of the thinking house going on, and some of that is also OEP, but there is also space for people to be able to have a little bit more room. So I know we've got people who store cars and restore them there. We have a fantastic kitchen there, all sorts of things. So I think they're complementary and gives on grow on space, so it'll be really useful.
And here there's everything from kind of health-related businesses to technology.
Yeah, it's a wide range, which I think gives it the strength, because if you have everything in one sector, then it can become a little bit stale. But with all the different people, I was just talking to a gentleman earlier, and he sort of says it's great to be able to come and share your idea with somebody different who has a different view and says, well, have you thought about this? So it brings strength, which make it a really good place. And
actually looking inside the rooms, the conference rooms, they don't feel like classrooms, you know, it feels different.
Yeah, I didn't realise what it looked like as a college, but pretty much we've inherited the building and taken it on. So it is a good reuse, and it's interesting how just a bit of reconfiguration and some different furniture, and you can change it from what was classrooms into really nice office space.
Lovely. I don't have anything to add unless you do.
No, I'm happy with that. Thank you.
But, you know, for a first birthday to be full, that must be the most... You know, and it happens so quickly.
Well, we've beaten our expectations. We set a target and we've exceeded that, and it shows that there is a need for this, and that's a good step that Rutland's taken. And we do need to support our local businesses. Having been a businessman for 35 years myself, I welcome the support that's available.
And actually, do you think that there's some national uncertainty, being able to actually put out good news stories like this is just so important?
Yeah, and I think it just shows the resilience of England as a whole, but Rutland in particular, of how we just get on and deliver. And, OK, there's going to be some waves coming, but we'll weather them, and we'll come out stronger afterwards.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
Stuart Milton from Reservoir Finance.
And you're based here at the King Centre. You were the first tenants here at the King Centre a year ago. How was it actually being part of something new, and why did you choose to come here?
Because it's a good facility. We've got an excellent office with lots of parking, and it's half a mile from where we live.
And how has it been actually seeing the centre grow and all the diversity of the businesses here?
Interesting, because we were the first ones to actually move in January last year, and steadily it's grown to capacity. It's become very vibrant. It's excellent for our clients to pop in and lenders as well, so we're really enjoying working here.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio podcast.
My name's Brian Lee, LEE. I'm the Men in Sheds Coordinator for Rutland.
And the Men and Women's in Sheds projects are linked, they're on the same site. I guess they have the same philosophy?
They have exactly the same philosophy, and they are linked as we are run by Age UK. It will be my job to hopefully get the Women in Sheds session up and running every Thursday, and from the numbers of people we've had today, that should happen very quickly.
About how many do you think you've had?
I would think, looking at the list, we've had over 30 ladies turn up today, so there is a big need out there for people to get involved.
When you say need for them to actually work with other people?
There have been a lot of ladies who have come today who have expressed an interest in learning about woodwork, how to use tools safely, and just learn new skills. There have also been a lot of ladies who have come who are interested in doing different crafts. I've said that we can accommodate both those sets of people, really.
And do you see the kind of the time here as being fixing things, building new things?
I think it's a combination of both. Some of the men who currently work here will bring in things from home that need repairing. They will come in with ideas of things they want to make and make them here. And sometimes we take on commissions from people. They want specific items making, we will price those up and make them for them.
I know, for instance, you've worked with Oakham in Bloom, some of the planters.
That's right, we've worked with Oakham in Bloom, and this morning I've had a chat with a man from Jules Housing Oakham who's interested in us helping him with a garden project. And that's something, as I've said to him, that will happen if there are men who want to do that. Because one thing we don't do within the shed for either the women or the men is dictate what they do. It's up to them what they want to get involved in.
And Age UK back you, as you say, the signs here
Yep.
at the Enterprise Park as well. Does that mean that it has to be a certain age for people to get involved?
Yeah, there's a preliminary age of 50 or above for this particular project. So.
And tell us about the men's and women's shitting sheds, the times that people can come along and get involved with this.
At the moment, we've got many sheds running Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, and we start at 9:30 and finish at 3:30. It's hoped that women's sheds will take off on the Thursday, again 9:30 to 4:30. But there's no reason, if we can get enough people and enough volunteers, that we can run more sessions. We pay rent here for 7 days a week. We could use the premises 7 days a week if we had enough volunteers to staff it.
And how do you feel actually seeing this project come alive the way it has?
I am absolutely amazed this morning that so many women have turned up. We did have quite a bit of feedback from the publicity we sent out, but it's exceeded my expectations. And I will be talking to my boss very soon about getting this project off the ground quickly, because there's obviously a need for it.
Rutland Radio.
I married David in 1992, and we had sort of 8 or 9 years living in a lovely house on the estate. We moved into the castle in 2001, and I know that Rutland in particular as a county was a great lover of my darling father-in-law, who was a wonderful man. And so we moved in 2001, and I can still remember the children just being horrified, because it is quite scary to a little child, and they just didn't want to live here. They were absolutely terrified. And my mum said, look, Em, I think I just had Charles, so I've got 4 children. You won't cope moving in, and so I'll take them all on a caravan holiday to the Welsh coast. So they went to their caravan, and we moved into our castle. And one of the funny things that I always remember about that holiday was that when Violet was playing, my oldest daughter, on the playground in Wales on the caravan holiday, there was a little girl who had a slightly Birmingham accent who said, "So, where do you live then?" And Violet said, "Well," she'd picked up the Birmingham accent, "well, I used to live at Nipton Lodge, but now I live in the castle." And the little girl turned to her and said, "Oh, yeah, and I live on the moon." That always amused me. Oh, yeah, but it wasn't that exciting for them. And also, everything was a bit dusty, and the guides were all a bit grumpy and didn't really like children being around. So I used to arm all the children with water pistols and say, well, if they're rude to you again, just take the pistol. And so I'm afraid. I wanted to make it our home. And I wanted the children to feel they were comfortable here. And I think that your first question was, how's it changed? I hope we've now got that feeling that there's no one stuffy here. Yeah, there's a good energy, I think. I hope.
So you're opening up your family home effectively to people throughout this year, from the jousting to seeing the gardens, which I know the rose gardens are being worked on especially at the moment.
We're redoing the rose gardens. We're busy getting all our paths ready. There's about 250 acres of woodland garden, and I've spent thousands and thousands of pounds on camellias, rhododendrons, azaleas. It's a proper woodland garden. So put on your walking shoes, and it's a good fit walk to do what we call the Duke's Walk. But it's taken 18 years to clear it, and so it's like the beginning of a new stage.
And just the sheer size of it as well. You know, the long approach, the size of the house, the size of the gardens. What a project actually to look at.
Yeah, definitely I couldn't do it again. But luckily, coming from Wales and a farmer's daughter, as you know, you're pretty hands-on running a farm, and there's no job you can't do. So you grow up with that mentality that, yeah, if you need to fix it, get on and do it. And you don't need armies of people. So I've been a pretty unpopular girl because I've made a lot of people redundant over our time here, but I've outsourced every job that we have to local organisations, and we had to make sure this place survives, not just for us, but for everyone. I believe living in heritage is a partnership with people, and together we keep the roof on with the public, and together we hopefully keep this monument intact for generations to come, not just of my family, of the nation.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio Podcast.
So I'm here with Jenny Laidler at Cottesmore. Jenny is absolutely amazing, kind, caring and thoughtful. I've known her just a year, but the help she's given me and other fellow dog ramblers is brilliant. She's been an absolute rock since my house caught fire, helping move my dogs and giving advice. Been really supportive. I can't thank her enough for her genuine kindness, and it's not just me she's helped. I'd love for her to be made special and appreciated. And we do this feature called Hero of the Week, so this is what I came round with. So that is yours. So
oh, thank you. Oh, that's wonderful.
So I did say that you probably know who it was who nominated you. So
I didn't know.
Yeah. Do you know now?
Yes, I do. It's
So
Kirsten.
Yeah, absolutely. So by the sounds of things, she's had an awful time, and you've been an awfully big help to her.
Well, no more than anyone else would have done, I'm sure. But no, she's had a rough time, bless her. She's coming out of it now.
So tell us about the dog side of things. You do a lot to help people with dogs?
Yes, I do. Just over a year ago, I set up a group called the Dog Ramblers, having done a few rambles with a few dogs and friends. I put it onto Facebook and it suddenly snowballed, and we've got about 280 members now, and we walk with 20 plus dogs in various locations. So it's been absolutely brilliant, and I've met some wonderful people as well who've come along with their dogs. Some have been nervous, some rescues. We've even got a guide dog coming with us now who walks regularly with us. So it's been really fantastic, and I've met some wonderful people along the route.
So it's a walking group, it's about socialisation.
Socialisation for humans and dogs, but mainly the dogs, yes.
And I've mentioned your name so many times over the years of Rutland Radio over the last 20 years because of things that you've been involved with village life here in Cottesmore.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously somewhere that you've become kind of entwined with.
Yes, I was born around here, so I've been here a very long time. We won't say exactly how many years, but quite a few.
And what would you like to say to Kirsten for this recognition today?
Thank you very much, Kirsten, and I'll catch up with you later. Thank you, bless you. Kiss.
Rutland Radio.
Thank you, Jen. I'm here at Easton Road in Uppingham with Louisa Jameson McLean. This is absolutely incredible to see 45 or so local artists around here. And just to even believe that there's that many artists actually having that standard of work, it's all summed up here.
It is, but it's amazing how many artists there are in Rutland and the surrounding areas. This space filled up, considering it's a very big space here, it did fill up really quickly with artists interested in showing their work, because of course artists are producing on a regular basis and otherwise the work just stays in their studio. But I have had a lot of interest if I do another pop-up art show, just because there are so many amazing artists in the area.
And just looking at some of the views, there's a lot of landscapes. There's a lot, actually, of the Welland Valley, of the Haringworth Viaduct, of Seaton, of Uppingham. And people really do draw their inspiration from where they live quite a lot of the time.
Absolutely, and it's such a beautiful area around here. Of course, you know, people are going to be inspired, and a lot of people that have had a little sneaky peek at the paintings, and even here today, you know, they recognise, you know, the landscape of these artists because they're so good. But they're all expressing the landscape in their own unique way, which makes it really interesting.
And then upstairs you've got, you know, the bronze. You know, that must take some hanging, actually, apart from anything else.
Yes, so again, a local artist. He's from North Luffinham. His work is amazing. So he uses bronze and he uses other mediums, but definitely worth coming down to look at those, because when you see them, I think the thing is with social media, fantastic to get the word out, but when you actually see a little picture, you have no idea of the scale. But as you've seen today, they are huge.
They are indeed, absolutely.
And they will go outside. The one of Churchill, for instance, would sit outside, and I think it would look splendid in the right space.
So it's the preview today till 9, and then basically every day up until almost the end of March.
So we're here, we're not open on Sundays, but yes, so we're here Monday to Saturday, 11 till 6.
This must have been an incredible project for you, as an artist and actually having used this space in your former life as well.
Yes, I worked for Cass Gilbert when she had the furniture shop here for 17 years, and it was a very well-loved shop, and I often thought because of the light and the space it would make a fantastic art gallery or exhibition. And then suddenly the opportunity came just recently, and I know the shop, she knows me, so we've managed to sort this out, and we're both delighted, actually, absolutely delighted, because otherwise you just have another empty shop, which I think it will be filled, because it is a landmark shop in Rutland.
But for the next few weeks, it's full of all this artistic talent from the local area.
Absolutely, we're absolutely delighted. It is just amazing, and the response, we're expecting to be very, very busy later on tonight, and also throughout 3 weeks that we're going to be here. So, yeah, highly recommend people come and see what talent we have in Rutland.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
Thank you, Joan. Well, I'm here at Barnsdale Lodge Hotel. Only within the last hour have the doors opened, but already there's such a sense of just so much shopping going on. I'm here with Trish Ruddle. This is just the most enormous event in the whole Rutland calendar each year, isn't it? You get the idea. It's a society occasion as well as a charity supporting occasion.
Oh, it is just so exciting. I think this year we have had the most incredible amount of support from our community, and our sponsors are all here this evening. But, Rob, this has been going on in Rutland now for over 50 years, and do you know what? We've really raised the bar this year, and I think, as you can feel, there is the most incredible bars, the most amazing ambience, but we're here to sell clothes. We're here to make money for Rutland, and to fund those 2 specialist advisors at Citizens Advice that was so important to us. But it's a great event, and everybody comes in and says how nice to see you, and there's real, happy feeling. And it's great to see you here on a Friday night.
Lovely to see you as well. So it's £20 to get in before 8 o'clock tonight, yes. And then tomorrow £5, everything half price. I mean, the prices now actually are great.
I know. I mean, I think you've got to come here to realise just how amazing the bargains are. And, so many people say that once they're here for life. I call them lifers, because they just love coming along and having a chance to have a bargain. We have a lady that comes from Devon every year. We have people from Derbyshire. We used to have somebody from the Orkneys, but unfortunately somebody couldn't look after their dog this weekend because they're usually here. But they are always, fantastic supporters that come back. This year, because we've upped our publicity so much, we have got masses of new people. And it's so exciting. So it would be wonderful if it's a bumper year. But we're really grateful to Hegarty's. They've been superb sponsors for the second year. And we're hopeful that they might be here again, but anyhow. But they're very good supporters. And, of course, they're in Oakham now, which is really local to us and superb as top-rate solicitors.
Trish Ruddle, thanks for joining us at the for Rutland Good and New Clothes Sale. It is only 48 hours or less, in fact, in the Rutland calendar. If you can make it this weekend, well worth the trip to Barnsdale Lodge Hotel.
Well, that's it for this week's Rutland Radio podcast. If you have any comments, you can email us via the website, rutlandradio.co.uk, and we'll have a new version on our website from Monday.
This is a download from Rutland Radio. For more information, go to rutlandradio.co.uk. This is a download from Rutland Radio.
Hello, and thank you for downloading the Rutland Radio podcast from rutlandradio.co.uk. This is where you can hear the best bits from the last week.
Hello.
Hello, Paul. It's Rob from Rutland Radio.
Hi, Rob. Are you all right?
Yeah, good. Are you?
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
Just tell us a bit about the Stamford Repair Cafe. I guess the idea came from going to the one at Norththorpe, isn't it? Just near Bourne.
Yep. So last weekend I went to the one at Thorby to help out doing some repairs, basically see what it was all about. It actually looked like quite a good idea, and that we could do something, replicate something the same as in Stamford. So that's what I've been sort of trying to do over the last sort of week or so.
I presume you're looking, first of all, for somewhere to hold it.
Yeah, so the first challenge, shall we say, is to find somewhere that we can hold the repair cafe. And this could be any sort of hall or building that's ideally sort of central to town, so it's easy for people to get to.
And what sort of stuff are you hoping to repair?
Really anything that matches the skills that our repairers have. So I'm hoping that we can get a broad range of things such as electrical repairs, any wood repairs, so maybe a broken chair, something like that. And then sewing. One of the things that was very popular at the weekend was knife sharpening or secateurs, anything like that, anything that needs sharpening. So, yeah, I think if we can find people with the skills to repair, we'll offer those skills and advertise them, and then hopefully people will think that, oh, yeah, I've got something like that would fit the skills and come along and get it repaired.
So a bit like the sort of Men in Sheds projects, same kind of thing, and sort of from the days when our parents' generation would have actually either known someone down the street or done it themselves. Just got on and fixed stuff.
Yeah, and it's just trying to get back into some of that. Not just something's broke, I'll chuck it straight in the bin. And it might be that there are items that are they are beyond repair. And it might be almost a final diagnosis to say, no, that is well and truly beyond repair. It is time for it to go to the tip. But I'm hoping that most things we can repair or at least diagnose. And it might be a case of, here's the part that you would need to buy, or if you get the part, bring it back in next month and we'll fit it and repair it. So I think there's quite a lot of opportunity, I think.
And do you see it actually taking on businesses that sell new versions of these, or more of a kind of public service community sort of effort, really?
Yeah, no, really, obviously the idea is not to try and compete with any of the local businesses, and I don't think that's going to be an issue. It's more, for me, there's the big part of this is the social aspect as well, that most of the people, the repairers, some of them might be retired. So for them to come and socialise, and the people that bring things in, come and have while it's being fixed, come and have a chat, come and have a cup of tea, bit of cake, whatever. Try and get that social side as well. That people want to sit down and have a chat for an hour, even though the thing might only take 10 minutes to repair. That's brilliant. That's what it's about. It's not just the repair inside that I'm trying to sort of push. It's the social aspect, and people wanting to belong to it and come along and get really involved.
So it's basically at the stage you're at the moment is, I presume, to gather interest, find a venue, and then you'll let everyone know when it is, and you can get off and running.
Yeah, that's the plan. So as soon as we've got those first bits confirmed, then obviously we can advertise dates, we can advertise the venue. I'm already slowly building up a team of volunteers for both refreshments and to come along and to be able to repair things. So, I think probably the ones I'm looking for at the moment, I'm a little bit short on are sort of electrical or electronic repairers. And I'm hoping that we can even offer services, just basic things of, mobile phone help or laptop help. It doesn't necessarily need to be a skill or something that needs to be pairing. It could just be, some people just, I've got this issue with my laptop, or I've got this issue with my phone, or how do I get my photos off my phone onto my computer, anything like that, come along. And the idea is, either we'll be able to help you, or we'll put you in touch with somebody who can.
Excellent stuff, Paul. Thanks very much for joining us on Rutland Radio.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Rob.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio Podcast.
I'm the wife of Richard White, and it's been in his family ever since opening in 1877. Myself and him, we took over about 4 years ago when his father retired and Auntie Sue also retired.
Is it harder, the challenges now that people find things online, but the fact they've got such a range on their doorstep, that must be an advantage as well, but then you've got to stock it all.
Yeah, it is very, very challenging, and what we're finding is people showroom, so they come in, have a look around, and then they go back online. But we often find they'll actually end up coming back into us because they've either not had a delivery or they can't actually find what they want online.
How over the last 100 years or so would you say that the store has changed in terms of what it stocks?
We've gone from stocking beds, and actually we had another building down the road that was sold off probably about 8 years ago now, which let us have the extension here and have us all under one roof. But we've brought fashion back in, and that has proved the best decision we've made, and that's obviously why we're here today, and we're seeing all the sort of the trendy brands finally coming under Ford's roof, which I think is quite big step for us. So, yeah, seeing the likes of Superdry come on board is fantastic.
Rutland Radio.
Good morning, Rob. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, yes. Tell us about Pancake then. So you helped hatch Pancake, is this true?
Yes, Pancake was delivered to us in a batch of tiny Polish bantam eggs and was sat underneath our chicken for a few weeks and then hatched out in our garden.
And how come Pancake?
That is a very good question. I would love to say that it's something to do with his fluffy nature or being the colour of pancake batter, but unfortunately it's just what happens when you allow children to name your pets.
And Pancake now resides quite happily at Rutland Farm Park. How long... Is Pancake a boy or a girl, by the way?
Absolutely no idea.
Oh.
I think that gendering chickens is quite an art form, which I never really mastered.
But now at Rutland Farm Park, and available to see, you can go and see Pancake on Shrove Tuesday.
Yes, you can. You can pop down to Rutland Farm Park and see beautiful Pancake in all their glory. Very obvious which one it is, because there is nothing quite like Pancake.
Mainly white, basically, and fluffy.
Yes, look for the one that is colour of a pancake and very fluffy.
So how old would Pancake be about now?
Pancake must be getting on for a couple of years old, quite old in the chicken world. Pancake's lived there since our dog was a puppy, because we had the chickens and then we got the dog, and unfortunately Bella was very attracted to the fluffy tails of the chickens and kept trying to catch them. So to be fair to the chickens, they went to live at Rutland Farm Park and they've been very, very happy there.
Have you ever seen Pancake lay an egg?
I haven't seen Pancake lay an egg, but I don't know that it couldn't happen. I suppose actually that would probably lend itself to suggesting that Pancake is probably a boy.
Yes, indeed. And did you get Pancake around Shrove Tuesday? Is there any connection there?
Yes, Pancake was born very near to Shrove Tuesday, which I think was why pancakes were in the forefront of my children's minds at the time.
Rutland Radio's best bits on the podcast.
So there goes the whistle and some frantic running at the moment, actually. Now they have to toss 3 times as well. There has been a bit of a headwind, but it has actually started to drop, so that's good. And here we go. That's a tough one, isn't it, as to who actually won out of you two? Is this your first time winning?
No, it's the second.
Excellent. Joint first today. Can I take your first name as well?
Hazel.
Hazel, well done. You won too.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I would say it was a draw.
It's a dead heat.
That means you share the trophy.
I know, yeah, I don't know what we're going to do about that. There'll probably be a fight later.
And can I take your first name as well?
Rachel.
And the men's race, well, I actually ended up taking part thanks to Rachel from the first race. I thought it might be a lucky pancake because she was joint first. Sadly, it came out of my pan far too many times. It must have just been a crosswind. But John, you managed to win. Is this your first win here?
It is indeed, yes. I think the young people gave me a chance, actually.
It's just a bit of fun, but what a great event, actually. The fact that this keeps on going. 37 years now.
It's absolutely fantastic.
You've been in the village long?
15 years. Yeah.
So you've had plenty of time to get used to this run here on Church Lane.
It's only the second time I've done it, I think. I have run in the Lord Mayor's Pancake Race in London.
Well, that sounds like good training. Well done.
Yeah, but I didn't win there.
Rutland Radio.
Well, Si, you can hear the atmosphere at St Mary's Church in Melton. I'm here with Sally Elkington, who people who've listened to the radio for a few years would certainly know the name of. Sally, you've been judging this for how long now?
Well,
or one of the judges?
OK, yes, there are a lot of judges here. This is the 11th year of the competition. Each year it seems to get bigger and almost better, but it really is a well-run, very organised event. I've got the pleasure of hot lamb pies this year.
I'm just seeing, yes, hot lamb with mushy peas in that particular one.
In this one,
looks very good. Yeah, absolutely.
It looks most attractive,
doesn't it? Just
probably the taste isn't quite as
well. So it might not necessarily receive one of those cups, but we're looking at over 70 golds that could be won here today, like 300 entries, something like that. It's huge, isn't it?
Is that how many entries there
something
are?
like that, I believe.
I know we've got 50 in our class, but we're split into pairs, and my co-judge is Sarah. So we've got, thank goodness, it's not just down to the individual. At least you've got somebody to confer with.
And it's all about standards, I suppose, in terms of the standard of the pastry, the filling, the taste, the appearance, all that kind of stuff you're scoring, I guess, Sarah.
Of course, yeah, that's right, as you have a look at it. And I've been doing this now a number of years, and I actually think the quality of the pies increases, and it's lovely to see. So nice to come back to Melton and do this once a year. So a lot of obviously, I think there's more judges here this year as well.
Brilliant stuff. Well, we'll let you get back to it. Thanks for joining us on Rutland Radio. It's the British Pie Awards. You can actually come and see it. There are ovens baking pies here, keeping them warm here, as well as actually all the judges. All the prize giving is going to happen later as well here at St Mary's Church in Melton.
The weekly Rutland Radio podcast.
My name is Philip Turner. I'm MD of Turner's Pies Limited. We're based in Bognor Regis.
And Bognor Regis to Melton, and you won last year overall.
Yeah, we our steak and ale pie got scored 99 out of 100 last year at the awards, and we were really shocked, but really overwhelmed to win. This year I made the long trip up, and I'm up here for a couple of days. I'm here today having a look at them judging our pies, and it's all really exciting, and I can kind of feel the atmosphere in the room, and it's great. Yeah.
Describe the magnitude of this event, because when things are on your doorstep, you don't quite realise. This is a national event. This is an event that a lot of food producers actually are getting to know about.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the relatively small pie industry, and it's a big thing. It's it's the main event of the year. Everyone wants to be supreme champion. So obviously, if you had no idea about pies, you might look at it and think it's a bit of a joke. But I mean, I can tell you can see around the amount of people in this room that everyone's taking it really seriously. The judging's getting done meticulously, and everyone wants their pies to be judged number one.
What do you put your success down to last year, actually being the champion of champions?
We're third generation pie makers, so my grandma, Eva Turner, she started making the pies in the 1930s, and we've stuck to our values. We do things very much like she did then. We only use the best quality ingredients. All of our pies are crimped by hand, there's a lot of hand process, and they're made with love. I mean, it's really important. If you ask anyone who bakes anything, it's really important that what you're doing, you've got a passion for it, and I think that'll be the main reason, really.
So it was the steak and ale last year. Have you entered that again this year?
Yes, we've entered the steak and ale along with a few other of our pies. And like I say, with fingers crossed and hoping for the best, really.
There's nothing really, looking across here, there's nothing really you can gain from looking at the judges' faces particularly.
No.
Maybe best not to in some cases.
No, it's all poker face today. I think I've just come along today just to have a look and see what other people do with their pies, and just generally just get a sense of anticipation. But yeah, you can't. They're not going to give anything away today. We'll have to wait and see what happens on Friday.
Well, good luck. Thanks for joining us on Rutland Radio.
Thanks a lot. No problem at all.
Rutland Radio.
It's Rutland Radio at breakfast time. I'm Rob Pisani, just been to Brook Priory School, who yesterday had their Osprey Assembly, led by Ken Davis from the Osprey Education Team, based at Rutland Water. This is when it starts to get exciting, Ken, isn't it? The Osprey migration will start to happen any day now.
Any day now, Rob, that's absolutely right. Yeah, last year the first ones were back on March the 12th and 14th. Today, March the 6th, we were in the school and getting everybody enthusiastic because they're on the way again. It's an exciting time. Everything's ready down at the reserve. Got new seasonal staff in place, new hides, and now we need the Ospreys to come back and get the season really off to a flying start.
And the Osprey migration takes about 2 weeks. They come from West Africa, where they spend the winter, and you can track so many of them as well.
Yeah, that's right. We've got 3 with trackers on, and the last I heard, they're still in Senegal, Guinea and Guinea-Bissau respectively, so they haven't started yet. The ones that we expect back in the next couple of weeks are probably not coming from so far away. Maybe southern Spain, maybe North Africa. So they'll be the ones that are back first. But the tracked ones, as soon as they start to move, people will be able to see it on our website, on the ospreys.org.uk.
And the whole idea of the Osprey project really is to open it out to as many people as possible, and particularly to children, to inspire them to be interested in conservation, interested in the way that the birds live and how it all happens.
That's absolutely right as well. We're here at Brook Priory, one of our most supportive schools. We've done a great assembly, lots of interaction. Some of these young people are already Osprey experts. We've been working with them over the years. Some of them will be our Osprey ambassadors, and we start the ambassador scheme this Sunday with a big meeting at our volunteer training centre on the Hambleton Road. And over the next few weeks during World Osprey Week beginning March the 18th, we'll be in 8, 10, 12 schools over the next 2 weeks, all through Uppingham, Oakham, Stamford, and all the villages in between. So it's really our busiest time of the year.
And I know that shoppers at Tesco in Oakham, putting their little blue tokens in, really helped you support 6 schools in bringing them over to the centre to find out more.
Absolutely, and these are 6 schools that we really haven't had a great deal of contact with before. So not only are we visiting them next week, but in June we've got enough money, thanks to the Tesco shoppers of Oakham, we've got enough money for them to come and visit us. We'll pay for their coach hire, and there will be no charge to the school whatsoever. So thank you to Tesco shoppers of Oakham.
And do you know what those schools are?
Exton and Greetham, North Luffenham, the 2 Cottesmore schools, Empingham and Casterton.
So really for the season for the Linden Visitor Centre, everything will start to kind of come to life over the next few weeks.
This Saturday, March the 9th, as I said, new seasonal staff are there as we speak, getting everything ready, stocking up, making sure everything's ready for the opening on March the 9th. And from then right through till September, it'll be open 7 days a week, 9 till 5. And people are welcome to come. And once the ospreys are back on the Mountain Bay nest, our webcam will be switched on so people can check in anytime, 24 hours a day, and see what's going on.
And as we've spoken about with the Osprey Leadership Foundation, the idea, as well as actually exciting school children in our area, it's actually exciting and connecting school children right across the migration route from West Africa up to here.
Absolutely. Members of the team have been in Africa in January, and my 2 colleagues, Jackie and Pete, are there right now. And we're trying to encourage young people there to get involved as well. Tim McCrill led a group, which I was part of in January, and he's already got young people who are training to get involved in conservation. Yes, ospreys, but the wider world of conservation as well. And we met a couple of them, great people, learning about bird ringing and tracking, and really getting really into the whole world of nature, which is great to see. And we hope that'll be extended and go to other countries on the international flyways, all the way between West Africa and the central England here.
And you have a summer school planned for this year as well, for the first time.
We do, again, thanks to sponsorship by the Cameron Bespolka Trust, which was a trust set up a few years ago in memory of a young man. And they've agreed to support July and August summer schools, day summer schools, that the Osprey Education team will be leading, with guest speakers as well and guest representatives, experts. And this is for two age groups, 8 to 12 and 12 to 16. Again, details on our website, but do get involved. It's really exciting.
And looking back over the last 20 years or so of this, I mean, was it 97, I think, that the whole project effectively hatched at Rutland Water?
Yeah, that's right. Which is 96 was the first when it really started. Translocations were 96 to 2001. So the idea of translocating really worked well. Establishing a viable breeding colony has worked well. And now we're really looking towards phase 3, if you like, which is education and really involving people of all ages in ospreys, yes, but the wider world as well. So it's really come on well. But the basis is still the ospreys, and they're there for 25,000 people came last year to see them. Let's hope we can beat this year.
The Mystery Voice with Timberwise.
I've got Caroline from Oakham on the line. Hi, Caroline.
Hi.
And so I'm just going to remind you of the Mystery Voice. It's fascinating. Who do you think it is, Caroline?
Well, it's only a sort of small guess, but I'm thinking it might be Lisa Faulkner.
Wow, you are absolutely right.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow.
It's Lisa Faulkner. The £100 is on its way to you.
Oh, thank you.
Highlights from the past 7 days, the Rutland Radio Podcast.
I'm Amy. I'm Flo. I'm Annabelle.
And you run the Brook Priory Library, 3 of you?
Well, we do jobs for the library and we help out and we sort books sometimes.
So, World Book Day Is everyone dressing up?
Yeah, it's Roald Dahl themed, so it's going to be interesting.
And tell us about your favourite author.
My favourite author is J.K. Rowling, and then I've read the Harry Potter series. Yeah, the same with me. Well, I love J.K. Rowling, but I also love Jessica Townsend, who wrote Nevermore and Wondersmith.
What are the other authors, the big authors that people tend to read at primary age?
David Walliams, Roald Dahl, probably a bit of J.K. Rowling as well.
Julia Donaldson as well? Or?
Well, I think Julie Donaldson is mainly right. We've mainly got her books for the kindergartens, year 1 and 2, so I think they read a lot of that. And
is World Book Day and getting the costume together a real kind of stress in your house, for your parents?
Well, sometimes, but this year I'm going as Veruca Salt, so I've kind of already got the costume, so I'm just having a dress and some tights, so it's quite simple this year. Not so much really. I'm going as the tortoise from SEO Trot, so you do need to get a few stuff, but I find it quite fun trying to find costumes and things. I'm going as the golden ticket from Charlie and the Glass Elevator.
So you have lots of things kind of hanging.
Yeah.
Rutland Radio.
I'm Squadron Leader Richard Murray. I'm the Director of Music to the band of the Royal Air Force College.
And this is, in terms of the stature of bands here in Stamford, not only have we got you, we've got the endowed schools together as well. This is quite an occasion here for Stamford, and obviously raising money for the Poppy Appeal as well.
Absolutely, it's a fantastic opportunity for the students of Stamford School to come along and engage with one of the finest symphonic wind bands in the country.
Tell us about the band and how it's made up. Presumably everyone in it is full-time.
We are full-time musicians for the Royal Air Force. We're based at Royal Air Force College, Cromwell. And we support the Royal Air Force throughout the United Kingdom and throughout the world as part of our defence engagement with not only the local communities but people from all walks of life, whether it's service charities and to public duties, for example at Buckingham Palace, to Windsor Castle or the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo.
About how big is the band here? Is this the full complement that we have in Stamford?
The band, we've got about 38 personnel with us here today. The band are established for 54 people, but we've got a few people back at Royal Air Force College, Cromwell. We're going to make a huge sound here, not only to showcase what we do as a symphonic wind band to the students, to show them what we do as our profession, as a job, but then we will come together for the finale and play some fantastic music, not only for the audience that are coming along, but for the parents who have invested so much time in their sons and daughters.
And could you give us a rough idea of the programme for tonight as well?
We will have a splattering of the birthday that the Royal Air Force had last year, Royal Air Force 100, a fantastic occasion. We've got a piece of music in there that's is a tribute to the Tornado Force that has just been retiring after 40 years of service. And then Bohemian Rhapsody and Queen has certainly been in the headlines quite recently, so we will be performing some of the music from Queen as well to bring the house down at the very end.
Rutland Radio's best bits on the podcast.
My name's Linda Richards, and on the 17th of February I was getting ready to go to Essex to visit my children and grandchildren, and I was up at the kitchen sink, and all of a sudden I screamed out and I collapsed on the floor and I had a seizure, which I've never had before. And my other half, who had originally decided to go out on his motorbike, for some reason he decided not to go, so I would have been on my own otherwise.
He used to be an ambulance technician for the emergency services.
Yes, for the east of England. He retired a few months ago, and he actually now works in the funeral service.
But he knew what to do when you collapsed.
Yeah, he put me in a recovery position. He made sure that my airway was clear, and he looked after me until the ambulance crew arrived. So I owe so much to him.
Now, we have spoken before, haven't we? Just remind us of what we spoke about when we did Hero of the Week a few months ago with you.
I've done a 12-hour shift at Kettering General. I work in A&E, and I came home and my partner has made me a lovely gammon dinner, and he decided to choke on a piece of gammon. So I actually stopped him from choking, and he nominated me for Hero of the Week.
So literally the tables turned. So it's Adrian this time you have to thank to stop you from choking when obviously you were unconscious.
Yeah, that's really eerie, don't you think?
Yeah, well, it's come full circle, and glad to know that you're still both here. And well, it was just lucky, I suppose, that you had someone else around at home.
Definitely, because I'd dread to think if I'd been driving on the A14 or the A1 and it had happened when I was driving.
Well, that's it for this week's Rutland Radio podcast. If you have any comments, you can email us via the website, rutlandradio.co.uk, and we'll have a new version on our website from Monday.
This is a download from Rutland Radio. For more information, go to rutlandradio.co.uk.